Hello and welcome to A Book in 5 Minutes with me, Linley. This week I'm going to talk about another academic textbook which is actually pretty good for a lay audience, and it is called Average to A Plus by Linley, and it's subtitled Realising Strengths in Yourself and Others. So the premise of this book is that we work best when we realise our potential when we're using our strengths, not when we're trying to improve on our weaknesses. We've all heard the saying, play to your strengths, and recognise the sense that that makes. But there's also the aspect of, if you are a manager and you run staff performance appraisals, or if you work somewhere where you're expected as an employee to have an appraisal, we've all worked in those places where the appraisal consists of, okay, you might talk about what went well, but then you really focus on what can you do better, what weaknesses do you have, do you need to work on to improve, where are you falling down. And the premise of this book is that instead of focusing on those things, you're going to get far more satisfaction, productivity, engagement from people if they are using their strengths. The book, as I say, it is written sort of for an academic audience, but actually it's not terribly academic. It's more useful for sort of the general, it's for everybody really. Anybody that wants to learn how to identify and use their strengths and be able to sort of go forward, develop them and use them far more effectively in their everyday life. This book is a useful one for you to read. There are chapters in here on one of the things that he says is that often we don't have a language for strengths. We talk about skills, but we don't talk about people's natural abilities, where they naturally feel that they can excel, the things that they're good at, and that usually coincides with the things that they like doing. So there's chapters in here on spotting those strengths, about noticing them in yourself and noticing them in other people. There's a chapter on how you can work on improving your strengths, how you can be you but better. So again, it's about focusing on those natural abilities, those natural strengths, rather than spending all your effort on improving weaknesses, which it probably exhausts you, tires you out, and you don't ever get to be that you're above average in those things, because they're weaknesses that you're working on. So yeah, you can improve them to a level, an acceptable level, but they're not the areas that you're going to excel, and we all have that drive that we want to excel. So it covers those kind of aspects. There's a chapter in here on using strengths at work. There's also a chapter on how to identify and nurture strengths in children. So in terms of who I'd say the book is for, then obviously there's benefits for anybody that wants to get more out of life, wants to enjoy what they're doing, wants to improve their moments of flow, which I mentioned in the last video, wants to be happier at work, happier in their lives. So if you're a manager and you are wanting to get the best out of your staff, if you're an employee, if you want to get the best out of your working day, learn to enjoy it more, then yeah, this is definitely worth a read for you. If you're a parent or an educator, the chapter on identifying and nurturing strengths in children is really useful. There are questionnaires. The Professor Linley, his organisation has a questionnaire that you can use. You can take the basic one online. There's loads of others. Some of them are free, some of them you'll have to pay for. But in terms of finding out what your strengths are, it's worth having a go at some of these questionnaires. And the book will sort of point you in the direction of those. There's a discussion on which ones will work in the strength spotting chapter. So would I recommend this book? Unequivocally, yes. definitely. If you want to get the best out of your life, whether that's at work, parenting, in your relationships, yeah, go out, give it a read. It's quite, as I say, it's not a heavy academic book. It is actually quite readable. I enjoy reading it and I feel like I learned a lot, even though I already subscribed to the view that using your strengths at work was a better way to be than to be building on weaknesses. So yeah, go out, read it. That's Average to A+, Realising Strengths in Yourself and Others, and it's by Alex Linley. That's this week's book in 5 minutes. I'm Lindsay Milner, and until next time, bye.